afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Cairo Local Time, a comprehensive review of a number of segments, including the world of news. We have culture, military magazine, and so forth. This episode is full of things to see today. In today's episode, we're going to be looking at the local news bulletin, in addition to the military magazine, a tourism magazine, and we'll also be joined by a sports expert who will give us a little bit of information about what happened yesterday when it comes to the African Championship. And also later on, we'll be joined in the studio by a guest who's going to talk to us a bit about the Children's University here in Egypt. And there's more to come on the show. Let's take a short break and get back to the local news. Welcome back. Let's start off with our first segment, which is the local news. The first item we have is President Sisi praising the national football team despite AFCON loss. The news item itself reads, President Abdel Fattah Sisi received the national football team arriving from Gabon after taking the second place in the Confederation of the African Football. Earlier, President Sisi had expressed appreciation for the country's national football team despite a 2-1 loss in the 2017 Africa Cup of Nations final game in the Cameroon on Sunday. The president said in a statement that despite the game's results, the players gained respect for the Egyptian people and all football spectators in the world. Meanwhile, the president asserted that despite the result of the match, the team won the respect of all Egyptians and all fans around the world. President Sisi stressed that the players' commitment and sincerity will lead to great achievements in the near future. And we will be taking a look at the president's speech and what he said about the Egyptian national team. Let's take a look.
In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most gracious, I would like to thank you all and express respect and appreciation, not just in my name, but in name of all Egyptians. I would like to tell you that you did not only make the Egyptians happy, but you made all the Arab countries that watched your games and matches happy as well. You did very well, and please be proud of yourselves. We totally appreciate what you did for 6 or 7 years. We were not able to achieve what you achieved. For myself, I would like to thank you. Thank you very much for all what you did. You did very well. I don't want you to feel sorry or sad because you exerted a lot of efforts and you achieved a lot of things during this competition. I'm not just saying this to compliment you, but it is real appreciation to all what you did. And God willing, more achievements and accomplishments in the future for both yourselves and the Egyptians. So thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you very much.
Welcome back. The next item we have reads, Egypt took the second place in the Confederation African Football as the national football was defeated by Cameroon 2-1 in the finals of Sunday. The news item itself reads, the Pharaohs won the competition a record 7 times, including 3 in a row between 2006 and 2010, while Cameroon won it only 5 times. Let's take a look at a report on the African tournament and what happened.
After 3 weeks of pulsating football and great goals, the 2017 Africa Cup of Nations was down to 2 teams contested the final on Sunday, 5th of February. The Lions of Cameroon defeated the Pharaohs of Egypt in what was an exciting clash between 2 teams with different styles. Cameroon have been on a giant-killing run from the start of the tournament, as no one gave Hugo Broos and his Chargers a chance to make it the final. However, Egypt won 7 titles against 5 to Cameroon and 4 titles to Ghana. Veteran Issam Al-Hadari was nominated as the best goalkeeper of that championship for the 5th time. It was also a repeat of the 2008 edition when Egypt defeated Cameroon 1-0 to lift the trophy. Mohamed Abu Trika's goal was the difference between the 2 sides at the Dan Owen Stadium in Accra. During the semi-final against Burkina Faso, veteran goalkeeper Al-Hadari was the hero of the match, stopping 2 kicks as Egypt romped their way to another final. The Pharaohs were qualified for the finals in this year's competition after defeating Burkina Faso by penalty shots. Egypt has come back strongly into the Africa Cup of Nations after a 7-year absence and will be looking to add another title to their already burgeoning AFCON trophy cabinet. The Pharaohs had been semi-finalists 14 times. They had also won the competition a record 7 times, including 3 in a row between 2006 and 2010.
Welcome back, and to tell us more about Egypt's final match in the CAF Championship, we are joined over the phone by a football coach and sports analyst, Mohamed Felix. Hello to you, sir. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Yes, sir. In your opinion, what was the reason behind Egypt's defeat yesterday?
Okay, I think the reason behind losing the match is that we were overestimated at defending, and we didn't try to attack as much they did. Yes.
The coach, the national coach, Hector Cooper, styling of coaching or styling of tactics is basically defensive in nature. It's more like European style of football. Was this the correct way to go about things in an African tournament?
About Hector Cooper?
I'm sorry?
Sorry, I'm not hearing you.
Hector Cooper's tactics were basically a defensive team.
Yes, but yes. Okay, Mr. Cooper playing at this match was great. At first half, we attacked them very well and scored a goal. Okay.
Yes.
But his mistake in the second half, and he had no well qualified players in defense. He lost a control.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What about the performance of the national team in the second half? We saw a major setback or a major deterioration in their performance in the second half. Why did the Egyptian team regress during the second half?
Okay, our performance in the second half wasn't good as the first half, and the overstrain started to appear on the performance of our players. Okay.
Yes, sir. What about the goalkeeper's performance yesterday, Issam Al-Hadari? We know he was sick or ill, but would he be responsible for the goals that were scored yesterday?
Okay, but and we are, that Hadri, he's a great goalkeeper. He's 44 years old, and you know that. his fitness is a great for a man, yes, but I don't think so. His age, he can be like a goalkeeper for a first or the first goalkeeper on the national team. Maybe Ishinawi, he will be better more than him.
Yes.
Okay, he can't. His fitness, he can't he can't move like flexible more than El Shinawi, and you see that in the match.
Do you think that the changes that Hector Cooper made during the match were correct? Whereby,
No, I don't think so. Trezeguet, it's my opinion. Trezeguet is still on the field, and Ramadan Sobhi play beside Trezeguet.
yes.
We will do the best. Yes.
Okay, sports analyst and football coach Mohamed Felix, thank you so much for joining us on the line. Thank you. We go back to our local news where Egypt, UAE, seeks to bolster cooperation on regional challenges. The news item itself reads, during his visit to the United Arab Emirates, Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry met with Abu Dhabi Crown Prince Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. Shoukry said Egypt is looking forward to boosting ties and coordination with the UAE to confront instability and challenges to security in the Arab world. Let's take a look at a report on this meeting.
Minister of Foreign Affairs Sameh Shoukry during a bilateral meeting with Sheikh Abdullah bin Zayed, the United Arab Emirates UAE Minister of Foreign Affairs, agreed on a political consultation mechanism to be held every 6 months between both countries to follow up on bilateral relations. According to Foreign Ministry spokesman Ahmed Abu Zaid, during the meeting, Shoukry discussed developments of the two countries' bilateral relations and ways to develop them. He also praised Egypt's bilateral relations with the UAE and stressed Egypt's deep appreciation for the United Arab Emirates for supporting it. Meanwhile, the UAE's minister asserted his keenness to strengthen his country's relations with Egypt at various levels, stating that Egypt has good economic elements that attract investments as the country encourages investment strategies. Shoukry pointed out that Egypt's relations with the UAE is a model for Arab world relations in terms of strength, durability, mutual respect, common interests, and in terms of stability and steady growth, as well as in continuous communication between the two countries' leaders and officials. Both officials also reviewed regional issues and agreed on further discussions to find possible solutions. The officials concluded the meeting by discussing ways of activating joint Arab cooperation mechanisms, whereby the two ministers agreed on the importance of continuing consultation and coordination the two countries in issues of common interest in Arab regional and international issues. Shoukry also met Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi and Deputy Supreme Commander of the UAE's Armed Forces, and submitted to him a message from President Fattah al-Sisi that focused on praising the UAE's efforts for Egypt.
Welcome back. The Minister of International Cooperation discussed the preparations of the 6th round of Egyptian-Indonesian Joint Committee. The Minister of International Cooperation, Dr. Sahar Nasr, received Indonesian Foreign Minister Retno Marsudi as they discussed together the preparations for the 6th round of the Egyptian-Indonesian Joint Committee, which is expected to be held in 2017, and it is headed by the Minister Sahar Nasr and the Indonesian Foreign Minister. The two officials discussed means of carrying out more joint projects in Egypt in order to enhance cooperation between the two nations. The two sides signed a number of agreements and memorandums of understanding that will increase cooperation between Egypt and Indonesia. Welcome back. To shed more details on the latest developments which occurred in the military field, we present the Military Magazine, reviewing the latest projects and achievements in that regard. The details follow with Yasmin Lafas.
المستوى اللي انت بتقوده لو ما جهزتوش كويس وما دربتوش كويس انت هتبقى مسؤول عن نتائجه قدام الوطن وقدام ضميرك وقبل ده وده قدام ربنا سبحانه وتعالى.
President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi paid a surprising visit early on Friday to the military college, where he took part in the cadets' exercises along with the Minister of Defense and Military Production Sir Subhi. The visit began with the President's participation in a bicycle tour across the streets of Cairo, and he ended his visit by having breakfast with the cadets. He praised their skills and capabilities, describing them as a cornerstone in building the country's future leaders. The head of state also called on the students to stick to the military's core principles, most importantly, sacrifice for the sake of the nation. He noted that the men of the armed forces should be an example to the Egyptian youth as protectors of their country. Minister of Defense and Military Production Sir Subhi met with the border guard forces. He praised their efforts to protect the nation from smugglers and terrorists and also criminal elements who intended to harm the Egyptian national security. He also stressed that the armed forces are working with utmost vigilance and readiness to protect the sovereignty of the state and securing its land and coastal borders.
نسال أصيلة وأهلها الجدعان واللمة والتشجيع كده في الاستاد عيلة وبنات زي القمر وولاد وخرجنا من غير الرجوع بمعاد وحشتني مصر يا مصر.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs said that the Egyptian embassy in Berlin was able to lift the last restriction on German flights to Sharm el-Sheikh and South Sinai. In a press release, the ministry said that German Federal Ministry of Transport and Digital Infrastructure decided to exempt German airlines from flying 26,000 feet above South Sinai, which will allow German airlines to operate direct flights to Sharm el-Sheikh without paying additional insurance. Germany had warned its citizens from visiting Egypt after a Russian airplane crashed in October 2015. The Egyptian Foreign Ministry said the decision opens the path to full inflow of German tourism to Sharm el-Sheikh and South Sinai. Germany was ranked first in terms of the number of tourists coming to Egypt in 2016, with a total of 655,000 tourists. The Ministry of Antiquities affiliated museums have achieved total revenues of $45 million with 974 and 400 visitors in 2016. According to a statement by the Ministry of Museums Division, the museums achieved the highest revenues in December, recording Egyptian 6.8 million with 117,000 visitors, while the lowest revenues reached was $1.7 million in June. Minister of Antiquities Khaled Al-Anani said the number of visits of museums and archaeological sites has increased during the recent months starting from October, which coincide with the winter season when the tourism flow increased in Egypt. The number of the museums affiliated to the Ministry of Antiquities is 31 across the country, including 21 open-air museums and 8 under-development museums, as well as 2 closed museums. The closed museums are El Arish and Beni Suef museums, while the ministry is still developing the Greek-Roman Museum, the Port Said Museum, the Ahmad Arabi Museum, the Tanta Museum, the Museum of Tains, Ramel Cave Museum, Muhammad Ali Museum in Shobra, and the Royal Vehicles Museum in Bulaq. The ministry has opened 3 museums in the second half of 2016 after finishing their development, including Farouk Corner Museum, which was opened in August, Malawi Museum opened in September, and Komushim Museum opened in November.
هنا القاهرة.
هنا القاهرة.
هنا القاهرة.
هنا القاهرة. هنا القاهرة. هنا القاهرة.
هنا القاهرة. القاهرة. القاهرة.
هنا القاهرة.
هنا القاهرة وحبيبي أنا دمني ما يروح بيكون جنبي.
هنا القاهرة. هنا القاهرة.
عيني على أهل كايرو لبطبنها من يسايرو الكل عامل مثالي ونسلم في بعض عاير.
هنا القاهرة الساحرة الآسرة الهادرة الساهرة السافرة السافرة.
لك حبيبي حبك وتحب تهديه بهدية هاتوا مصر الحليوة يقول لك دي صحيح هي أم الدنيا.
هنا القاهرة.
القاهرة ونيلنا وكلنا وأغانينا ومواويلنا وحكاوينا يا جمالنا. القاهرة تجيلنا تحن لنا. Take me back to Cairo, beside the river Nile. My heart belongs to Cairo, oh Cairo, where I have found my smile.
Welcome back. We are doing our main segment of the show right now. An in-studio guest. Today's main topic tackles the Children University and Teaching Humanities Project in Egypt and its importance. We are joined today by one of the project's coordinators, Jihan Hamza Amir, an intellectual property specialist in Heliopolis University. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Could you just briefly inform us what the Children University is, because it's a strange concept.
Yes, it is. This a national initiative by the ASRT, the Academy of Scientific Research and Technology, the National Academy, of course. It is simply to host a number of students in the university. They start to do activities, scientific activities in Faculty of Engineering, Pharmacy, tracks in arts, by certain activities related to the theme of sustainable development.
Why is it called a Children's University? Does it involve actual children that are not of university age?
No, yes, it is the children from the schools.
Yes.
We are hosting the ages from 9 years old until 14 years old. Of course, they are divided into groups. They are not working together.
And what do they teach these children? Why are they selected to join this program?
They selected, this is according to their parents.
Yes.
Their parents, and I really proud of these parents because they search and found a program like that.
Yes.
Because they realized that their kids want to join a program, scientific program, activities program. So they searched about these programs and they already registered for their parents. Sorry, for their children. Yes.
How do you see the role of Scientific Research Academy when it comes to this project?
Scientific Research Academy of Scientific Research and Technology really implemented this project or this program in 27 universities all around Egypt. 3 of these universities are private universities, like my university.
Yes.
They dealing with the scientific research. They want to prepare a new generation thinking scientifically.
Yes.
And to help them to know the new environment of university earlier.
Yes. Are these children expected to have a higher and above average IQ?
No, they are normal students coming from different schools all around Egypt.
Could you give us a little bit of information about the syllabus that will be provided in a university like this?
I have mentioned that that the curriculum related to the sustainable development. Sustainable development simply is to learn how to balance between education, environment, and culture. So we are learning the students how to deal with the renewable energy, how to reduce wasting water, how to deal with the to communicate with new communities. So the syllabus is already touching the sustainable development. It is 7 tracks. 7 tracks: energy and water, health and biodiversity, Egyptology and humanities. The 7th track is all arts by different kinds. In our university, we have a program called the core program. This core program really it is touching the core because we are our aim in this program is to build the character and the human being. It deals with literature, humanities, arts, fine arts, acting. We are specialized in this field, so we put this track for the students, and really they do a very good performance in the closing event.
But I suppose the syllabus itself is designed to target children. It's not designed for people who are of older age. You made sure that a child will be able to comprehend the amount of information.
Yes, of course, because we are dealing with the interactive learning way.
Yes.
The methodology is to make activities. For example, Egyptology, humanities, both subjects are theoretically,
yes.
But we are dealing with all the themes in activities, telling stories, researches, search in the computer lab,
yes.
For example.
How long is the schedule for the child education project?
Each student will study 3 semesters in 3 years.
Yes.
We have 3 semesters, one in the summer,
yes.
one in the fall, and the spring. but they have to learn or attend in rotation.
Okay, so but how does it work with their school? I mean, do they take time off from the school?
2 weeks in the summer in row.
Yes.
It is the summer. But for the fall and the spring, they are attending or we hosting them in Saturdays.
Yes, okay. How do you see families encourage these children to join this project?
Really, I surprised from the families because they are really keen to get their students, their kids on time, and they are, for example, when they postpone summer vacation to attend the semester of the summer, so they know very well that their kids want this kind of programs.
What do you think would be the outcome or the best outcome for a project like this for the children that join?
We are expecting a new generation think scientifically, targeting the scientific research. The field of scientific research is not, they already introduced to this field, so they can, they became committed because the program is not mandatory like the school.
Yes.
So they are committed to attend by themselves. They learned how to cooperate with a new community, not the community of the school or the community of the club. So they will be thinking about their career path. Or first of all, they can determine the major in the university later on, then to find their career path.
Do you think that projects like this should be somehow integrated into the educational system in Egypt? Obviously, we have a problem with our educational system in Egypt.
Yes. Simply, we have to solve this problem in two parallel ways. First, we have to start by the teachers.
Yes.
We have to do capacity development and the skills development for the teachers. In parallel, we have to develop the infrastructure of the schools. I'm not expecting a high quality infrastructure, but simply we can find the music room, the art room, lab, computer lab in the schools, so the teacher can implement what he or she already trained to get new quality of education.
I mean, the system itself, the way that children are taught is very backwards.
Yes.
For instance, in Sweden now, they are going to change the system completely and not teach specific subjects, but integrate them all together. It's a completely different way of teaching. Do you think that we need to change the way teaching itself is done in the country?
Yes, of course, and we already, there are another projects, not the Children's University, but there are another projects targeting to change the mentality and the way of teaching for the teachers. There is a project called EduCamp. It is a tool kit for the teachers to help them to teach by the interactive learning way or hands-on experience. And really it's effective.
Yes.
The feedback from the parents, they told me that 10 days, each semester is 10 days,
yes.
even in summer or in fall or spring. It affects the character of the students because we are working in activities, no memorizing.
What about the curriculum itself? Do you think that there should be a way to improve the curriculum within the educational system?
Yes, of course. We have to improve it, and the EduCamp 1 is developing the national curriculum of Egypt, of the elementary stage and the preparatory stage by the means of the interactive learning methodology.
How do you see the other expertise of developing and non-developing countries in the educational field, and how can they benefit?
Really, this question, I think the summing up of all the of this interview can help to answer this question. We have to start
Yes.
by changing our methodology in education. We have to, as I have mentioned, that we have to capacity development for the teachers and skills development for the teachers. That could help to develop our education.
Could this program become an actual full-fledged school rather than just 10 days a semester?
Yeah.
Can it become a school, a proper school where they have like proper programs for children to enroll in throughout the year and like a proper semester, 3 months and 3 months and so forth?
Really, I can't understand the
Instead of it just being a project that
Yeah.
lasts 10 days, can it become a school system?
Yes, of course. Yes, it can be. It can be a school system, and any school can implement it. And really, there are some of the international schools using this method of teaching.
Is there coordination with the Ministry of Education on this matter?
For the other schools or for our
For the
project?
program, yeah.
For the program, the academy already implement.
Yes.
She is the sponsor. Sorry, it is the sponsor and the funding this project. And the parents have to register and follow up the website of the Academy of Scientific Research and Technology, ASRT, to register for their kids. And by the way, the new registration for a new group will open in the end of February and the 1st of March, and they have to follow up the website.
As a coordinator, have you discussed increasing the program's time, for instance, with the children, with the Ministry of Education, or expanding it to other governorates, for instance?
It is already implemented in Aswan,
Yes.
in Mania, Alexandria. It runs in Cairo University and Ain Shams University. Most of the governmental or the national universities have this program.
Will there be a project, for instance, to continue this process, not just for children aged 9 to 14, but, for instance, high school children as well, high school kids?
Yes, in the academy they are thinking to make a new or as if extension for the program.
Yes.
They can send them for scholarships. Already there is a link.
Yes.
There is a link between the university and the groups.
Yes.
For example, the summer come after 1 year,
Yes.
but through this year they have to come to the university with to help them to do a research, and this research evaluated by the academy.
Yes.
And these students will be rewarded from the academy.
What are your expectations for this year when it comes to the education system in Egypt?
I hope that 2017 will be a start to move on to cope with the Egyptian plan for education for 2030.
Okay, thank you so much,
Thank you.
Jihan Hamza Amir, a project coordinator at the Children's University, intellectual property specialist in Heliopolis University. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you. Thank you.
This brings us to the end of this segment of the in-studio interview. We move on to the next segment, which is entitled Snapshots. Let's take a look.
riding through the streets of Cairo on a bike, Hadir Mansour pulls along a cart full of books. Aboard her mobile bookshop, Books Bike, Mansour cycles through neighborhoods in the Egyptian capital, stopping to allow customers to browse her cart and buy a book. Mansour, who co-owns Books Bike with Mohammed Badr, also provides a delivery service for customers who have pre-ordered books. Their aim is to bring books closer to readers and encourage more people, especially children, to take up reading. The cart has a special section for children and sells both Arabic and English language books. Mansour, who worked as a librarian before she started the project, hopes to have more than one bike bookshop in the future so as to share her love of reading with more people. A treatment center on the outskirts of the Egyptian capital, Cairo, promises to soothe its patients' aches and pains using sulfur spring water. Doctors at the Helwan Sulfur Center for Natural Medicine and Rheumatism say that the healing power of sulfur, a naturally occurring mineral found near hot springs, can be used as treatment for a wide variety of ailments and diseases, including muscle pain and fungal infections. Patients can relax and soak in the pools as well as receive treatments, physiotherapy and exercise in the water with 10 doctors on hand at the center. The center's head doctor, Ali Hassan, said the natural minerals found in sulfur water have unique healing properties.
Welcome back. This brings us to the end of this episode of Cairo Local Time, but stay tuned for more updates on Nile TV.